Hey Benchwarmers.
Hey guys.
Today we're going to talk a little bit more, delve into our mental health kind of side of things, and we wanted to specifically, I guess, talk about performance pressure, I guess, with athletes and whatnot. Maybe off the back of me coming back from Vietnam and, you know, that high performance kind of environment, and what we've had to deal with in the past with that kind of thing. But mainly, I guess, you know, it's very typical for high performance athletes to feel that pressure, and where do those pressures come from? But I know myself experienced a fair bit of it.
So I think Bec's going to take more of the lead on this one, just because she
dealt with it.
has some experience with high performance.
But like, also, you've also dealt with people physio-wise, I think, potentially, with that kind of thing. So I think there's a lot more space for it now. Like back when I was playing, I don't think your mental game was very much a thing. Like, you know, you kind of needed to do your own kind of thing with the mental health, whereas now, you know, a lot of the athletes have sports psychologists, and, you know, it's going into that space of trying to get your mental game prepped for those kind of games. So
I think there's a lot more talk about it as well. It's
not so like a stigma around it, I guess, so it's a lot better. But I know for me personally, when I was going through college and stuff like that, I really struggled, because when I was away from home, I was like 17 years old, and then, you know, you get the kind of feeling that, you know, what am I doing here? Is this what I want to do? You know,
I feel like there's also a lot of like that pressure and those expectations put on like young athletes.
100%,
as well. So
well, you know, I see it now in some of the young athletes now who want to, you know, they love playing the sport, but it's just, I don't know, some of the pressures from coaches, from parents, from themselves as well. You know, they put it on so much, and then they end up not really loving the sport anymore because it's just all that pressure. And I think, you know, sports psychologist is one way of kind of applying or helping with that pressure. But I think coaches are now trying to almost create that pressure a little bit in training as well, to help people kind of get resilience and whatnot during the game. So I think it's quite good. But I think there's also things now that people can do, and I think we're going to talk about that a little bit today, and just see if you've heard of these things as well. But I've definitely heard of them, only because I've done a bit with that kind of space. But one of them would be mindfulness. Have you heard of that?
Heard of it, yeah.
Do you know what it is?
No, I'm going to say no.
To be fair, I probably really Googled it last time.
I feel like I would associate it with awareness is probably the thing that I would say.
So essentially it's like being very aware of your feelings in the moment. So if you're feeling anxious and stuff, making aware that you are feeling those feelings. But then
I feel like acknowledgement is one thing. Because I feel like from like a sporting kind of way background, not as high level, but definitely I think that's something I've always struggled with just personally as well, is like being aware of what I'm feeling and maybe not necessarily understanding why, but even just acknowledging it. So
just acknowledging, I'm nervous, like that kind of thing, and then, you know, combating that with validating those feelings, but then not letting them take over, like trying to let go and like breathe through it. I think in other ways, imagery and trying to like really let go of those feelings and pushing them away. But like almost like meditation as well, as a little bit as well.
Okay. Did you have any any sort of routines that you would kind of go through before playing games?
Routine wise, like I'd like to do a bit more visualization, which is probably one of the aspects of mental prep for a game as well, where I'd just like to get in a space of putting headphones on or listening to music and kind of like either getting hyped or calm depending on the situation. Like if I feel myself nervous, like if I feel quite nervous, I think if I get too hyped, I'm like, I almost need something to help me calm me down and visualize. Whereas if I'm kind of just a bit blasé, I kind of need that hype music to like
actually kind
get
of
me going a little bit. But in that case. But I'd always try to like visualize. So visualization, I think, is essentially trying to I don't want to say them again, visualize, but what you're going to do. So for instance, with volleyball, I'd be like, okay, visualizing myself or picturing myself trying to
do
a skill or like pass perfectly or hit the ball in or hit the ball hard or things
How would
like
you
that.
find, I guess, like what kind of process would you visualize yourself doing every element? So like volleyball specific, I guess, but would you visualize yourself making good passes, serving a particular way, or like, I guess, how did you kind of go, like, did you find it overwhelming, I guess, is kind of what I'm asking?
I think there's different ways of doing it. I would do like more skill-based things and like thinking about better outcomes, like good outcomes. But I think you can also do it in the way, if there is a bad outcome, visualizing yourself kind of calming down from it, or visualizing yourself going on to the next one, that kind of thing as well. But the way that you react and things like that can also like potentially calm you a little bit and just be like, I think that also goes into visualization, and then self-talk kind of goes into the same capacity, because I know some people actually don't picture things.
Yeah,
which is just a weird...
don't really picture things.
See, I do. Yeah. And some people don't.
See, like I think of like an outcome, but I don't, I can't see what I want.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's so weird to me.
Yeah.
Like I read a book and I like reading, and some people can't picture the book.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, why are you reading? I
feel like it's good.
Yeah.
But like you don't, I don't know, I don't think I see, like when people, this is something that I've always been confused about, when people are like, oh, I see the thing. I'm like, I don't see anything. I just know what it is.
Right.
But I don't know if that's a like...
It's very interesting. I know, I'm aware that some people don't do that, so it's very interesting to me.
Yeah, I just think about what I want it to be, but I don't see it.
Yeah.
Actually.
And that's why I think there's different ways, like visualization won't work for some people because they can't really picture themselves doing it, whereas maybe self-talk might work more. But like the self-talk thing is more like, you know, telling yourself you can go on to the next point, or telling yourself, okay, that point didn't matter, on to the next one. You're good. You can hit the ball in. You can do these things. You know what you're doing, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I think a really good thing what one of my coaches back when I was in high school did for us was like when we're serving, you know, I feel like serving's a very individual skill. Yep. So the only person that can do
get
it is
in
you.
Or do it right.
And that's the only person who can control it, essentially. And when it, you know, and you always get in your head a little bit about the serving.
Because I guess you can control every element of it. It's kind of the only skill that you can control every element of it. Yeah.
So if I told you, don't think of purple elephants.
Yeah.
What are you thinking of?
Purple elephants.
So it's like...
Is that your Gladstone coach?
Yeah.
He told that to me too.
Did he?
He literally had the same thing.
Brian Vanderweed.
Yeah, like Vanderweed. That's it. That's the one.
He's so
just like, I feel like this is him because that seems like him. Yeah, he said the exact same thing to me.
Love him.
Because we, like, I guess we're a couple of years. Just different, but same coach.
How did you run into him then?
Because he was coaching Cap.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Sorry, yes.
But different skills.
Funny.
I know, that's why I was just like, that sounds like Vanderweed.
I love him.
But like Bec is one of like the calmest, I would say, like playing against you are probably like one of the calmest athletes ever, like that I've ever played against, because it's like everyone else, you can kind of rattle them a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're always just like calm, and it's not that you don't care, you have a job to do, and it's like you just have a job to do.
I think I like throughout the years, like I definitely wasn't that younger years. And I think I just changed my mindset a little bit. Like it was more like it's just a game at the end of the day. The world's not going to end. Like kind of thing. Yeah. And then also like for serve receive, I really struggled with serve receive. And so I would always be like, I was feeling like I don't want the ball. Like, please don't serve me the ball. And then I would just like fake it till you make it kind of thing. I was like, okay, serve me the ball. Like I've got this one. And it'd always be like, I know I'm nervous, but I'm like trying to like psych myself out of it.
It's almost like you're channeling that nervous energy into like excitement. Because I feel like anxiety, excitement, they can go really, like they're really hand in hand. It's kind of like that same feeling. It's just how you channel it that can really make the difference.
And I think like I've just found over the years, like I'm probably more in that role of being not a leader per se.
I would say a leader. I would say a leader.
So I always think, you know, I've got to be a bit of a calm, level head and stuff for those like younger players. And now that I'm moving to older years. But yeah, and I think it's just a change of a mindset for me, really. And I think a lot of younger athletes, they put a lot of pressure on themselves. And some of that does come from coaches. And I'm very lucky in like the last few years, particularly after college, I've had some really good level-headed coaches. Vando was also a good coach, Brian Van der Weed, but like my college years, it was like high pressure situation. And that's only because, you know, they're getting paid to coach. And they're getting paid based on your performance. So they've got pressure on them, and then they're kind of handing it down to you. And I was lucky that my college coaches were still strict, but they weren't too bad with me. But I know other teammates, they were really quite forceful on. Like they even would hold like scholarships over people's heads. Like if you don't perform, you're not coming back next year. Like we won't give you a scholarship. And if you're like very academic and you're wanting like a degree to finish with, like that's very quite, you know, is that going to help you perform? Like having that much stress on you? Like no. But so yeah, I don't know, like I went through a lot of that process, but at the end of the day, like for that I would just think about what's the worst thing that can happen. Realistically, is it really that bad? You know what I mean? And you kind of almost degrade it a bit in your head, I think, in that way. But yeah, so yeah, I feel like I am calm, but maybe I just fake it a bit more.
If it works,
it does work. Yeah. I think also it's also confidence in your skills. So if you like train once or twice a week, but if compared to someone that trains every day, like surely your confidence in your skills
is different.
You know what I mean?
I actually did like, this is throwback a few years, but in my before I was physio, I did extended sports science, and part of the, didn't graduate, like just did part of the degree, throwing that in there, but a lot of the subjects that I did was like psychology and sport. And one of the things I remember learning, which I guess tried to kind of implement, was about, particularly with training and training at, you know, you're not going to get anything out of training if you aren't putting in 100% effort, which I think was always kind of something that stuck with me, was all about train how you want to play. Don't just half-ass it, because I feel like as well, like, you know, training sometimes isn't. Well,
that's the thing, like you're training physically, like you're doing all the skills in training, but how you're not really training your mental side of things either then. So that's like coming back to like training that pressure situation. I think some coaches now are doing really well and say, like I just did one with like my youngins before about serving, and we did like everyone serves one in a row and everyone must serve it in to move on to the next thing. And I think that just puts so much pressure on them to serve it in, but it's like training that kind of pressure situation, because when they're in a game, it's all on them to try and serve it in. Whereas in training, if you serve it out playing a rally or something, you don't feel as much pressure. But like it's dependent on you to help your team.
How do you go with then, just again, like kind of from that side of things, how do you go with like punishment-based training? What are your thoughts on it?
I think
like push-ups, if you do something, if you lose the mini game or whatever.
I'd rather, from my point of view, make them do a volleyball skill as punishment. But like I don't know, it can kind of be detrimental. Well, depends how ruthless you can be. If you're gonna make them sprint until they throw up, that's excessive.
That's a bit much,
and that's a bit like mental warfare. And I think some like my coach in college would actually do that. He'd make us, and there was one particular girl that he'd be like, "You're not strong enough. You need to do extra reps in the gym. You need to do this, and this." And like make her eat more when we went away for games as well. And that's just like, that's mentally abusive.
I was gonna say, I feel like that is.
And the thing is, when you're that young, you almost you can't
you can't separate that as well. Hey, like that. I feel like that you can't think of it as
well, they're also like your person you're meant to look up to and meant to like go to for advice and things like that, and they're the ones that are kind of pushing you down a little bit. So it's really hard in that situation that you've almost got to pick yourself up a lot. And I think though, which is good with team sports, I feel like tennis would be a struggle, but like team sports, at least you have your teammates and that other supportive environment. But like, it would be really hard, I think. But in those situations,
Okay. What other strategies, I guess, would you like kind of use in terms of like your mental preparedness? Like,
I know a few girls use journaling, like they like journaling, and I think that's another form of mindfulness, just like on that day, like journaling how you're feeling and all that kind of thing. That can be another way to kind of mentally prepare yourself, and just being aware of how you're feeling and describing that, I guess. What was the other one? Goal setting, I think, is very important. I know, well, that's just more, small goals and mini goals, and, that's the SMART goals, So what's S in SMART in that one?
Specific.
So
you want your specific, measurable, achievable, realistic.
Realistic,
and timely.
Timely,
is the other one. So specific, actually having something
specific.
But having like so you want to make your goals have an outcome. So I don't even know an example. Instead of saying
I want to, like, for instance, we want to win the championships or something like that.
We wouldn't, I guess, at the start of the season, you probably wouldn't say like, I want to win the championship. It's kind of like you'd make it more specific. And you might actually say like how are you going to achieve that? I'm going to achieve that by winning this game or by doing this.
That's true.
I guess being specific about it is
measurable. Can you measure that achievement?
Win or lose,
essentially. And then what's
achievable?
Achievable.
So actually have it achievable. So me want to play in the 2032 Olympics or whatever it is, like 2025.
Isn't that the same as realistic then?
That is realistic. No, that's achievable. Achievable is like you can achieve it or achieve it within a time frame.
That's right.
And then realistic is not me saying I want to be a mermaid or something like that. Because obviously I've already done that.
And then timely
is actually having a time to complete it by. Because if you say, I want to be if I don't know, I want to be a physio. But you don't say I want to be a physio this year. I want to be a physio this year. I want to graduate this year. You can kind of just push it down because you don't have that time pressure almost putting onto it.
I think we do that a lot with the Volleyroos. We like set mini goals and stuff like that. But our long-term goals are like 5 years. And then we have yearly kind of goals and whatnot. At the moment, I think our coach wants to get us more international gameplay, and his goal is for us to do like 50 games a year. So that's one of his goals, I guess. And then for us is like maybe being able to get a professional contract or like go to college or something like that. That's a lot of and just having out of Australia kind of experiences and things like that. Like that a team goal is for everyone to be doing.
Do you as a physio, because obviously like as an athlete you would have, but as a physio, how do you go with like smart goal setting for your clients? Like, do you sit down and do it with them? Do you tend to like kind of do it for them?
Well, I think that's something that everyone needs to do specifically with when they come into clinic. Like, what are your goals? What is your main goal of this session? Like, are you wanting just pain relief this session, or are you wanting to get functional better or blah blah blah? But when it comes to athletes, obviously theirs is always I want to return to sport. Well, you always set those measures, and that's where outcome measures are really good, and you can just say, well, we'll get here first, and we want to get here by 3 weeks or a month.
I think you almost kind of inherent, like you start to kind of plan that as a physio. Hey, where you go like, okay, like this person has this injury, evidence says it'll probably take this long to recover, so that's my time. Specifically, they want to achieve this. Is it achievable? Yes or no? What's realistic for that person in that time frame? How likely are they going to be to actually do their rehab? What can I put forward to them to make them achieve it? What are they going to bring to the table? And I think you kind of start to get a bit of a plan that way. And then I think obviously like communicating that back to the client as well. I think you end up kind of doing that in the session. I feel like that's kind of what we...
I think, you know, everyone's more about, I don't want to be in pain. But as long as you get to their functional goals and whatnot, I think that's kind of sometimes more important. So
I think a lot of times as well, like, you know, because, this kind of comes into that realistic kind of, I guess that element is explaining to people what is realistic for them in the time frame that they have. So like, you know, people might want to be pain-free, whatever, which is great. Cool. Like, yes, love that for you, but also understanding that we can make an improvement today. Maybe we can, maybe we can't. You need to be committed to do your exercises, and by you being committed to do your exercises, it's going to take 3 weeks to get there, and setting that expectation, because I've found early when I wouldn't, I guess, explain that sometimes to clients, they'd come back and they're like, oh, I did the exercise for 2 days and then didn't make a difference. And you're like, yeah, but you're strength training. Why would you expect to be stronger in 2 days? It's not going to fix it.
No, it's not going to fix it, But what do you think? Because I've obviously got my routine playing high elite sport and whatnot. What would you generally do, being more of a social league kind of athlete?
I like in terms of like preparation and that sort of stuff.
Mental preparation.
I definitely now I think I'm a lot more aware of it. I never used to. I used to be like, I guess when I first started playing was very much like, I had very high expectations, and not just of myself but of my teammates, and when they wouldn't achieve that or what I thought they should have achieved, I would be very frustrated. I'd get very frustrated and like not love it. Now, because I play more, like I like to be competitive, but it is obviously more for fun. I think pay attention to how I'm feeling in the moment, and if I don't feel like I want to play, I don't play. That's kind of my my thing. Like I have the big injuries that I've had have always been when I didn't feel mentally prepared. It's like every time I've, you know, like when I had my ankle injury, it was like I so specifically remember saying to my team, I don't feel like I should play. I really, like, I'm so mentally fatigued. I really emotionally, like, don't think I can tolerate playing. Like, I feel like I'm not ready. And it was like, you know, immediately within 5 minutes of saying that and verbalizing that, I had an injury that had me out for 9 months. And it was like, I knew I shouldn't play, and I blamed myself a lot for that as well. Because I was like, I said I shouldn't have played, and I didn't want to let people down, so I played. And then I ended up with an injury that, you know, cost me thousands of dollars to get fixed, and months of like mental health issues and all of that kind of stuff. So now I think I'm still learning to be better at it, but I do I think a lot of mindfulness, like just in terms of just like being aware and like acknowledging that it's okay if I don't want to play, or if I do. Most of the time now I get excited too, which is cool. But I think, you know, when you put yourself in anxious situations or situations that are high stress in sport, or like often it's around people that I don't feel comfortable around, I think that's where I generally get more anxious. And I definitely feel that, and I'm kind of just go, yep, I feel anxious, I'm nervous to play against this person, I don't really want to play against this person, but it's okay, like you're going to be okay.
When you're like that, do you communicate to your teammates that that's how you feel?
I do, I
think that's really important.
And like I only play with people I like.
That you feel open
that to, I feel like I can talk to about, or if I'm struggling and I just say, oh, I'm really struggling with this at the moment. But like I have every time verbalized that and gone, geez, I'm nervous about playing this person, or I'm about doing this. or like I just feel really uneasy, or they put me on edge kind of thing.
I think that's quite important. Like we tend to do that in Bolaroos, I think, but I think we're trying to do it a bit more. But just being aware that people treat those stressful pressure situations differently.
Yeah.
Like some people really shut down when they've done a mistake or whatever. Like I feel like I'm a bit more, I don't shut down, I'm pretty more upbeat and whatnot. Like I almost need someone to be like, let's go. Whereas other people would hate you coming up and being like, okay, come on, cheer up, you know, kind of thing. Yeah. So I think you need to have those conversations.
And I think telling people what you need as well. Because that's the same, like every time I've kind of had that, I'm like, I need you to be on for this, because I find I end up, you know, if I can't get that from reassurance almost from my teammates, I get really like on edge, and then like wired, and then it takes me a long time to kind of come back down to normal, which is obviously not ideal when you're playing sport. So doing all right.
But I think that's good. I think like just out of nowhere, we did like a profile at work in regards to different personality types. I think it's called DISC. I don't know if you've heard that. And there's an athlete one. So I wonder if people would like to do that. But it's just a way of knowing what kind of type you are, type of person, and how you might receive communication from teammates and whatnot. I think it's important to know. Like again, how people react to those kind of stressful situations. Like I'm someone who is a bit more calm, but I also like to be supportive. So if you more say, hey, I need you to help me with this, I would be more reactive to that rather than be like, hey, do this. It's more like,
hey, I need that, like kind of reassurance.
This is going to help me get better, or this is going to help, you know. So whereas other people, they have one goal in mind and they really want to go to that goal. You know, and they don't care, like it's very dominant kind of personality. Like you'd be a bit more direct and be like, hey, this is going to help us win, do this. You know what I mean? Like, so it's interesting, I think, because you think, you know, oh, why are they like that? Why are they like this? And then you understand, like,
that's just how they cope.
Different. So I definitely think that's important as a team, but also like just self-reflection. On what kind of person you are and what you need.
Absolutely, and I think both of us then are probably like more mindfulness, like kind of,
being like, aware. Definitely think that took a while for me to get though.
Oh, I'm the same. I think I was like somewhat aware, you know, a few years ago when I was like, oh, I don't like the way I feel when I play with this person, or I don't like how I react when I play with this person or this type of person. You know, I just don't want to put myself in that situation. So I think from that sense, I was like mindful.
Is that more with like the beach volleyball? Like because beach volleyball with two people, that's so hard. If one of you is down,
it's hard. It's hard. You struggle, and it definitely is. Like that's where I kind of was like, oh, I just won't play with that, like do that kind of thing. I think as well, like, but you know, since I guess having like, you know, I guess a bit of a journey like with mental health and injuries and that sort of thing. I think now I'm more, I would say more aware and more able to be more specific about what I would like to achieve and kind of break it down. And a lot of my goal now is to just have fun. Like if I'm going to do something, I want to have fun doing it. I don't, you know, I don't care like more of like the win at all costs kind of things, which I previously would have. And I think that had a lot to do with like the types of people I was playing with, where it was, I'm going to shit on you until you win, basically, until you perform. So I think it's taken me a bit to get there as well.
I think I might be one of those people though, to be fair, because going from like international playing and now playing like social league, I'm like struggling to like just calm it down a little bit. Because I'm still like that competitive edge. But it's like, oh, I've got to realise, you know, this is more for fun, Bec. But like it's almost nice for me, but sometimes the, you know,
but you're also like not like a bitch.
Or little Bec myself.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
You can be competitive, and that's the thing. I think you can be competitive and you can be stern without
The thing is, you want to have fun, but if people are just
mucking around,
yeah,
that's different.
It's kind of like you care about playing.
If you all have the same goal, and that's where I think like that communication comes into it. Like if you're all going for fun and you don't care if you win or lose, great. But like everybody has that communication, and that is your goal as a team, particularly team sports. If your goal is I want to have fun, but I also would like to do well, then don't. Having that communication, saying, I love you as a person off the court. You're just playing for fun. Yeah. I want something else. Yeah. I think that's fine to say. So,
that's awesome. Yeah. All right. I think we'll wrap it up there. Eh?
We'll wrap it up.
That's pretty good.
Doing all right. We're trying to, rebrand
ourselves. Yeah. Maybe if you guys tell us how you might mentally prep for a game. I think that would be a nice thing. Like, obviously, comment on this. Can you comment on Spotify? I don't even know. You can maybe comment on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, all those fun things.
Socials.
But
tell us your prep routines.
Prep routine for games. That'd be great.
How you kind of get in the zone.
Well, if you remember from Emily, she has cherry juice or something, I think.
Crazy.
It's so crazy. Anyways, all right.
Cool. Bye.
Bye, guys.